Okay, perfect. That works. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. I trust you're doing great. As work, as school, as studies. And you are joining from good morning, afternoon, and evening. Today we're having a conversation around. Today we're having a conversation around what is basically UI and UX design, animation, and also game development. So if you have been wondering as part of Core 2, which of them you should go into, or if you are having doubt around what is UI and UX design, or what is animation, or what is game development, or what are the various opportunities that are part of it, or what are things I need to know before diving into those particular skill sets. Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for you to learn and know more about it. So please do well to share the city and state you are joining in from. So if you're joining in from Delta State, you're joining from FCT, if you're joining from Port Harcourt, do well to just drop those location you are joining in from. While we give it a few minutes for other persons to join us in the session. So yeah, you could keep on joining. Share with friends, share the link with other people in your cohort, with other people that are part of your learning community. So do it to share with them. So we have more people join us. Okay, let's give it extra 2 minutes before we officially kick off the session to allow more people in. So keep on sharing where you are joining in from, your state, city, so we know you are getting most people from. Okay, amazing. So let's kickstart everything. Hi, Grace. Hi, Hannah. Can you hear me? Hope I got the name correctly.
Yes. Hello. I can hear
Perfect,
you.
perfect.
Yeah, hello.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, did I get the name correctly? And then, or who should you prefer? Should you prefer?
Yeah, and then Elton.
And then, awesome, awesome. Yeah, okay. So I think today we'll be talking about what is UI and UX design and game development and animation. So you have more deep understanding regarding the career paths you are looking to dive into and looking to learn more about. So we have amazing speakers who will be sharing insights, also from a work experience, other field work, and also various things you put in mind when you are jumping to this field, and also the opportunities that are part of this field. So without wasting more time, let's just dive straight into our conversation for today. So again, I usually go with this ladies first thing. So I think we'll be hearing from Grace first of all. She'll be giving a deep dive into game development. She's a game developer and also an educator who specializes in Unreal Engine. She has trained over 40 students to date on game development, and she'll be sharing insight into everything you need to know regarding game development. Hi, Grace. Let's give a minute for Grace. So while we wait for Grace, let me also do an introduction for the other amazing speaker we have here who will be sharing insight into UI and UX design, all you need to know regarding designing amazing interface and also amazing experience for various products you'll be designing and building as time goes on as you learn. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Tech Garage, and he's coming from where experience from graphic design to design. He has done experience, everything to know regarding design, designing product design, UI and UX before you dive into it. We're super excited to have him join us and share from experience. Give us minutes. So, please keep on sharing the link to everybody that's part of Core 2, Core 3, also part of the learning community. Your friends that are not here on the call, please keep on sharing the links to them so they're able to understand from UI design to get development automation, just not having a real background regarding what they're jumping into if they want to later on switch when the opportunity arrives. Hi, Grace. Okay, I think we're chatting with NN to have a little bit of glitch here. So hi, NN, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So can you just just dive straight into everything regarding UI and UX design? So we start everything from hand while we move straight into game development, then before animation. Awesome. Yeah, the floor is yours. Hi, Nan. Hi, Nan, can you hear me? Give me a minute. Hi, Nan, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, I can hear. Great. Yeah.
Okay, so I will be sharing my screen. Okay. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, perfect. We can. Yeah, we can.
Okay. So what we'll be talking about today, we'll just look at an overview of what UI UX is all about. All right, so my name is Enel Jonah. Okay, so looking at the overview of what UI UX is all about. First of all, you need to understand what UI UX is. So UI UX is user interface and user experience. I'm sure you must have heard about it before. So we would explain the different parts, the UI and what the UX is. So the UI actually refers to those visual elements and designs of digital products or services that users can actually interact with. It includes the buttons, the menus, the layout, the typography of just the basic thing of what of product and services that users can actually interact with. Then when it goes to the UX part, which is the user experience, now it now goes deeper, like making the UI, the user interface to really interact properly. It includes as making sure that the UI is accessible and it includes responses. When you click buttons, what should the button do, and things like that. So that's diving into the user experience. So you could see that there is actually a difference between the UI part and the UX part. But it's best you do these things two together so that it's not only you're presenting user interface, but you also give the user a very wonderful experience. So what does UI UX actually cover? UI UX course usually covers a broad range of things. It goes from introduction to UI UX. You're going to learn what UI UX is all about and what the design is all about and use cases like that. And then you also learn user research and analysis. You're going to learn what to do if a user gives you what he wants. You're going to make research, how you're going to make this research, and what you need to put together to make sure you're ready to go to embark on a particular project. So you also look at the information architecture. Now you gather these informations together and and put them right how you're supposed to put them right, and arrange them based on what you require. Then you also learn on the wireframing, just as a sketchy part, not really a very detailed information of whatever the UI UX is, but just a very shallow, sketchy part so that you know what you're doing. From this wireframing, you'll be able to cancel, make corrections, and do everything and decide on what you want to work on. So after you learn that, you also go ahead to look at the visual design. You will now add colors, add beauty, add the buttons, and add different things. Then you go ahead to learn the interactions, how these buttons will functions, and then you learn as well how to test your UI UX designs and making sure it is also accessible to everyone. That's the purpose of doing UI UX anyway. It's not just for yourself, but for the general public. And then you should make sure the responsiveness of this UI UX and the user interface and the experience is both mobile and web friendly. Well, it depends on what exactly you're building. So you also go ahead to learn the emerging technologies and the trends in the UI UX field. So learning UI UX is really important, and then there are different and lots of opportunities out there when you learn UI UX. So we know that UI UX is of high demand presently because of the way the world is changing. Things, new innovations and new technologies, new things are just coming. So UI UX designers are always needed. They are needed in industries, even individuals as well need UI UX designers. So almost every time you go online, you see apps, you see websites, the social media platforms, you see different platforms. So UI UX designers are just needed across just anywhere they are just needed. Individuals can hire you, companies can hire you. So it's a very lucrative career path. And then the salary is also good if it depends on where you're working, but they're always needed. And then you always get paid very handsomely and at a very good rate. So, and the very interesting thing as well from learning UI UX is that you can also work remotely. You really don't need to be present at the office. You can just be wherever you are and do the job. So that's very one big benefit of learning UI UX. Okay. So like we said, UI UX is in high demand, and then it has a very competitive advantage. It focuses on solving problem solving, and then it helps you to use your brain as well. So it has positive impact on user experience, on how users use and interact with your product, with company products. It has a very high positive impact on that. So learning UI UX, it also helps you to learn new things and expand on where you have already, what you've already learned. And then you can also be self-employed if you learn UI UX. You really don't need to work anybody. You can be a freelancer and do several tasks for different organizations. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Henning, for sharing your experience, various opportunities, various things to know before starting a career in UI UX design. Those who are inside this session really learned a lot personally. I'll be taking questions after all our speaking session. So we're currently creating the questions on the chat box here on YouTube, and we'll be attending to every question later on while our speakers are done speaking. Hi, Grace. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Amazing. That's great. Okay, okay. So I think you could go on and start having a conversation around game development. So if you're interested in game development, don't know what game is all about, various things you need to know before starting a career around game development. Grace is here to share from her experience. She's a game developer and also an educator. She's an Unreal she's a Unreal Engine teacher. Give me a minute. Yeah, Unreal Engine instructor. She has trained over 40 students, and she's a champion of gaming, transparency, power of learning, self-expression, and also societal enrichment. She's a big advocate when it comes to empowering women and youth in pursuing a career in technology. So, hi Grace, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, can you see my screen? You can confirm.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mfon Eno Grace. I'm a game developer and on Unreal Engine instructor. Today, we'll be looking at exploring opportunities in game development. What is game development? I'm sure most of you have played games before, either on your phone, smartphone, on PC, consoles, PlayStation. Game development is the art of creating games. It involves design, development, and the release of game. So everything from coding to the design concept, the art creation, sound design, testing, and marketing. Everything here in this envelope is game development. Let's look also quickly at evolution of the game industry. When did it start? How did the journey begin, and where are we today? So the roots of game industry can be traced back to 1950s and the 1960s, where computer scientists generally experimented with different forms of primitive forms of interactive entertainment. And there came the rise of consoles. In the 1970s, consoles were introduced into our homes, and from this introduction of consoles, more people began to interact with technology and entertainment. And there came the golden age of games, were in the 1980s. During the 1980s, more games were introduced, and then game developers began to push the boundaries of game design and game development generally. And then the advent of personal computers. In the early 1990s, more people began to acquire personal computers. And this led to a boom in the game industry. So more people began to play games, more people began to find out what are games generally, and then it began to evolve. And in the late 1990s and early 2000s, we had more consoles introduced. So we had Sony PlayStation, Nintendo, marketing, Microsoft Xbox, and then this industry began to grow. And then the rise of the mobile gaming, smartphones, the advent of smartphones in the late 2000s sparked a big evolution in gaming. Now you can, if you buy a smartphone now, you can just go to your Play Store and then download the game and play. And then the emergence of the indie games. Indie games are games developed by small studios, independent studios, and individuals. Individuals now build games and launch them on different platforms. On Steam, on App Store, individuals can now build games and then launch them. And now it's virtual reality and augmented reality. The advancement in virtual reality and augmented reality technology now has created or gave way to possibilities for immersive gaming experiences. So now with certain devices like the Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR and other devices, you can actually engage in, interact with your surroundings and play game in virtual environment, real time. You can now play games real time. So this is the evolution of game industry. Now the game industry has grown so wide and so big, lots of features, interesting features in it. What's a game engine? Game engines are software that developers use to create video games generally. And there are lots of them. You have Unreal Engine, you have Unity, Buildbox, Game Maker, and the likes of them. But two of them are very common that you would want to, you must have heard of Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine has several versions. One version of Unreal Engine you can actually use to build a game and publish on Steam, publish on itch.io. The new version of Unreal Engine that's recently been introduced, is about 1 year now, 1 year old, is Unreal Engine for Fortnite. Unreal Engine for Fortnite enables you to build your games and launch directly into Fortnite. I'm sure some of you have played Fortnite before. So using this engine, you don't even need to think about how do I market, how do I publish. Once you build the game in this engine, it gets published straight into Fortnite. And Fortnite has a lot of interesting features, a lot of interesting advantages. So these devices you see on my, these devices you see are what we call Oculus Rift. We have different types. This is just a version of this. They are a pair of goggles that enables you, they are for virtual reality. Once you put them on, you can actually go into immersive and interactive gaming experiences. So what's the growth and trend of the game industry? You need to know, is it growing? Is it a good place for you to be? Is it a good try? Is it worth it? The video game market size is estimated to be about 217 billion as at 2022, and is expected to have a compound growth rate of about 13% from 2023 to 2030. You can see the chart. Epic Games on their own, Epic Games are the owners of Unreal Engine. They have pledged that 40% of the revenue generated from Fortnite is given back to creators. So if you're creating games and launching on Fortnite, you expect that. In the past 1 year, just in the past 1 year, over $320 million was paid back to creators. So what are the opportunities you can get when you come into game industry? You can be a game developer, where you have to design, program games for different platforms, PC, console, virtual reality. And then you can be a game artist. You can be a 3D artist. Animation also comes into game development. You can be a 3D artist. You can be an indie developer. What do? You just be a solo developer, developing games on your own. You don't need to work for anyone. You just develop interesting games. And if you can develop games that catch people's attention, more people will be playing. And the more they play, the more revenue you will generate. You can be a game designer, crafting very interesting game mechanics, levels, and narratives that players can actually engage and find interesting. Then you can be a game publisher. If you don't develop games, you are not a 3D artist, you are not animating, you are not doing anything, you can help publish the games. From distributing to marketing, you can play a role generally in game development. So how do I get to learn game development? How do you acquire these skills? What do you need? If you are in the university as an undergraduate and you're studying computer science, it will help you. It will help you to transition smoothly into game development. You can also study game design, digital arts, and all those related fields can help you acquire game development skills. You can also take specialized courses, workshops, boot camps offered by universities, colleges, online platforms like Udemy, Coursera, and a wonderful program like this one, the 3MTT program. You can start your journey here. You can start your journey here and you can acquire game development skills. Then you can do self-study, personal research, books, Tutorials. There are lots of open resources online available. YouTube, wow, it's a big one. I am a self-taught game developer. I started with self-taught, and then I began to take courses and attend programs, and here I am today. However, there are challenges, just like in every other field. You can face technical complexity. What does this mean? You know, you have to do game development, I must say, requires high-end PCs. The specification of PCs, laptops that you need for game development is high, a bit high. You will need to get from a Core i7 and above. I need a dedicated graphics card. Some of these things are things you may have to, that may pose challenges to some person. You may also have challenges in optimizing your games. The very first game I built, after I put in so much learning, trying, and at the end I realized that the game was about 50 gig. That was a big one. So I had to begin to think of ways to optimize the game. So these are some of the technical complexities that you could encounter. And what competition, of course, you know, competition has to do with, you have to try your best to stand out. In any field, in a crowded market, you need to stand out. For you to achieve anything reasonable, you need to stand out. And so you need to dive deep into it, learn as much as you can, and stand out in any area you have chosen, either as a game developer, 3D artist, in any aspect you want to play in game development. Then work-life balance. Of course, we need to figure out how to manage tight deadlines. You know, how to deliver work even with high pressure quantity. You need to figure out how to balance this. And then, what are the necessary tools? For game development, it's not just any PC that can run the software, not just any PC, else it will crash. You need a laptop with minimum specification. Operating system, you need Windows operating system. I would advise you to take Windows operating system. However, if you have high-end MacBook, you may be able to install some of these engines, even though you may likely face certain challenges. But if you are looking to get a laptop, a PC, please think of a Windows operating system. And then you need about, the RAM should be minimum 16 gig, even though 32 gig is preferred, but minimum 16 gig can do something. And then your hard drive storage should be minimum 500 GB SSD. And then you really need to have a dedicated, your system should have a dedicated graphics card. A dedicated graphics card because of the visuals, the rendering process, and the rest. So what's the future of the gaming industry? You see, looking ahead, you see the future of gaming industry is very bright and filled with endless possibility. And with the advancement of recent technologies such as cloud gaming, artificial intelligence, blockchain, you can expect to see even more and more immersive and interactive and socially connected gaming experiences in the years to come. With AR and VR, where you can actually move into a virtual space and play games in real time. The future of gaming is very, very bright. In conclusion, I would say that if you are able to acquire necessary skills, stay informed about industry trends, you network with other game developers, aspiring game developers, you have mentors, embark on a very rewarding career in this dynamic field. In this field, it's very dynamic, so you can get mentors that can help you. So what's the call to action? Start learning today. Start learning today. Build your portfolio. Showcase your work online, LinkedIn. No matter how small you have, whatever you have done, just showcase it. Showcase your job online. Join online community. Join online community. Learn from other people. Join forums. Get to know what's happening. There are lots of developer communities in Africa. I can help you join on the Unreal Engine community for Africa. You have to seek feedback. When you post your work online, your profile online, ask for feedback. Showcase your work. Don't be afraid and ask, is there anything I can do to improve? And then you see lots of people will be willing. People will even chat you privately. Oh, you're doing great. If you need anything, let's know and all that. And then you have to stay updated on industry trends. Stay informed. What's the latest happening? What's happening? Is there any update on the game engine you are using? You need to update. What platform are you using? What do you want to port to another platform? You generally have to be updated. And in the game industry, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. There's always something new to learn. You have to follow that trend. Keep learning and keep learning. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Awesome. That's fantastic. If not that I already have a career path before, I would have switched to game development. There's like a lot of opportunities when it comes to game development. And again, I don't use a Windows laptop, so again, maybe I can't move. We have a couple of questions from from the audience, from students, fellows, and people of the learning community for the TMC program. I think we got one relating to game development. Let me just direct that to you straight ahead before moving over to an end regarding other questions on UI and UX. So okay, someone asks, does game development requires me knowing how to write code? If yes, what are the various programming language I need to learn?
Okay. I get a lot of questions related to this. Mainly because some persons have their fears with code, which I quite understand. I will say yes. However, you can still build games without even writing a single code. But like I will always advise, when I was learning, I started my journey, I dived deep into it. So yes, I would love you to dive deep into it, and you need to also learn the programming aspects. You will need C++ for Unreal Engine generally, and then you need C# for Unity. And for the new Unreal Engine that has been introduced called Unreal Engine for Fortnite, which I want all of you to look out for. And you can always chat me up on that. You need the new programming language called Verse. You need Verse programming language for Unreal Engine for Fortnite. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for shedding light on that particular question. I really appreciate you spending that time to answer this. So before we let you go, what is one advice you give to someone just starting out, or you give to yourself if you're starting out again? Like one thing you just take note of if you're starting out again. Hi, Grace. Did you get that?
Okay. Yes, I was trying to unmute. Advice I will give is start learning. Take courses. Go online, go to YouTube. Go on LinkedIn, connect with game developers. I tell people, whatever field you want to go into, connect with people in that field already. From there, you see things. Connect with people of like minds. Keep learning, take courses. And when you take the course, make sure you actually practice what is done. That's the only way you can get it. In game development, you have to practice. If you do not practice, then it doesn't work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that with everyone. Hi, and can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we got a couple of questions regarding UI and UX design. So one that was shared was do I need a prior knowledge on graphic design before I can get started with UI and UX design? Do I need to have the knowledge? Do I need to know how to do graphic design, designing flyers and stuff before I could jump into UI and UX? Or I could just start learning UI and UX directly without having a background in graphic design?
Okay, to learn UI UX, you really don't need a background in graphic designs before you learn UI UX. UI UX is really simple and straightforward. So it's just the ability for you to think and know how to solve problems. it helps you to have a problem-solving skill. So you really don't need a background in graphic design or any background anyway. You can just dive into it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing an insight regarding that question. Another one we have is what are the various software tools I need to have installed on my laptop before I can start learning UI and UX design? Then also, what are the pros and cons when it comes to UI and UX design? What are some advantages if picking a career in UI design, or what are some disadvantages in quotes if picking a career in UI design?
Okay, some softwares you require when you want to work with UI UX design. Okay, there are a lot of softwares out there you can use for your UI UX. There is Adobe XD by Adobe, and then there is Figma. Figma is the most popular one that almost everybody uses because of its ease when it comes to using. And then you can also use them online. You can use them both. Well, it works fully online. So you can even download it on your system, or even if you don't have your system there, you can just visit the website Figma and do all your designs. So it doesn't require much to do that. And then you can also use Illustrator. You can use Illustrator is a little complicated, but the one I will really recommend is using Figma, because Figma is just straightforward and easy, and it's designed for these purpose. So it's very easy and it's very straightforward. So the advantage, when it comes to advantages of using Figma, it's numerous. The advantages are much. Okay, it's so much that if you're a UI UX designer, apart from the fact that you know how to design, you will know how to solve problems. Because while you're thinking, your knowledge is developing, you're growing, and you're getting more and more knowledge, you're getting more and more in-depth knowledge. And if you learn UI UX designing, before you know it, gradually you will start understanding what graphic design is all about. So it just really opens your mind to every other thing. It opens your mind even to the game development. It opens your mind to even animation. It opens your mind a lot. It gives you a lot of advantages. And then it helps you to stand out there and be self-employed. It helps you to easily get a job as a remote worker, and then to battle with the economy. Okay, the disadvantages that you may have with UI UX is that you actually really need to put your time. You just need to put your time and need to think. If you're somebody that does not want to think, then it may be tough for you. But UI UX will actually require you to think and understand what a user wants, and make you should be able to feel what the users are feeling. So you should be able to understand. That's just the part I think there is a little disadvantage, but other than that, it's just advantages all the way.
Okay, thank you very much for answering that particular question. Okay, we got one here. Can I use my smartphone to learn UI and UX?
Yes, you can use your smartphone to learn UI UX. As I said, UI UX is really easy to learn. There are lots of resources out there. So you can even if you don't start with your phone, you can even start on a piece of paper. It's just to draw out the wireframes and understand what you want to get. It's just to pass the knowledge out there. This is how this is supposed to work. This is how this is supposed to work. Assuming you want to build a game, okay, you come up with the idea, okay, if this game wants to work like this, how is this supposed to start? Is it supposed to have a settings? Is it supposed to have notification? Is it supposed to have this, that? So you can just draw out the wireframe inside your book, and you can just go on Google and just search. So what I want to build a game, give me ideas, and there are lots of resources out there that can actually put you on the go. So you can start with your mobile phone, just go to Figma. That's why I said using Figma, you can visit online and use online, and then you can also use your desktop as well. But it's very easy when you're using your system. It may be a little complicated if you're using your phone actually, but our advice, you should use a system.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for shedding light into that. We got like two questions combined as one. So okay, for the first one, do I need to, can I focus on UI alone and not yours? or do I have to, learn both UI and UX together? One. The other one is UI and UX design the same thing as product design? So I've been good about product design and UI design. Are they the same thing? Do I need to learn only UI or I have to learn both UI and UX together? Hi, Nan. Did you get that? Hi, Nan. Should I go again?
Yes, yeah, please, the last question, please.
Okay, so the first one is, do I need to learn UI and UI alone, or I could just learn just US? So I need to learn both UI and US together. Can I just be a standalone user interface designer, or I have to be a user interface designer US and user experience designer? That's the first one. Also, is UI and UI the same thing as product design, or they are two different things?
Okay, UI, UX, and product design are actually two different things. Okay, then for learning UI and UX, yeah, you can actually learn UI alone and you can learn UX alone, but it's always best you learn UI, UX. Wherever you check it online, it's always UI, UX. They are always going together. So if you just build only the UI, just the user interface, it's very necessary just add the experience. It's really not a big deal to learn the experience. So if you are able to think of the user interface, definitely there must be something inside you that is telling you this is how this thing should function, and that is the user experience. So it really works together. It really works together. But you can just learn UI, UX, UI alone and UX alone, but they work together.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. One last question before I move back to Grace. Yeah, I have like a couple of questions for Grace too. So one last question: what is one advice you give to your younger self if you're starting at a career in design?
Okay, if you're starting a career in design, I would really advise you should collaborate. You should not just depend on your knowledge alone. You should not just feel that, yes, I can do this and that's it. And then just give the client whatever you have on your mind, and that's the final say. You should be able to collaborate. You should be able to get inspirations. You should be able to make research. Research is the number one thing that will put you out there and that will help you to develop, that will help you to grow. Because while you're researching, you get ideas from different places and then you join it together. You find out that you're excelling and your growth will be very fast. But if you're just dependent on yourself, and just say, I will need to struggle this out on my own, then you find out that your growth will be really limited and it will be slow. So make as much research as you can. And even if you're a beginner, you'll find out that within a couple of months, you've already gone so far.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing that. Hi, Grace.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Got a couple of questions for you. So I think the first one we have here is can I use my smartphone to develop games and build games? Or I have to be using laptop or Mac?
Okay. For game development, I'm sorry, you can't use me because of the software involved. You can't even on like a simple low spec laptop, you can't install related, for instance. It won't even install. It will crash. Let alone for the game development goes beyond the setting. You need a high spec computer too.
Okay, perfect. Okay, the other one we have here is what are the various softwares that are needed when building games?
Okay, like I mentioned, I think the fifth or sixth slide, the game engines, Unreal Engine, Unity. Those two are very common. You search anywhere, Unreal Engine, Unity. You need Unreal Engine and Unity. So you can decide as a beginner to start from one, and then kind of sleep here.
Perfect. Okay, I think the last couple words. Cartoon and animation, are they part of game development or they are standing on? Do I need to know how to do animation for me to be a game developer?
Okay, thank you so much for this question. it's always very easy for you to start your background as a 3D artist and transit into game development. I will say that. I started with 3D artist modeling and animation before transiting into game development. Why did I say that? Because most of the things you will be doing in game development requires these skills. So you need, sometimes you may have to animate in the sequencer, certain things, you need a control rig. So the idea of animation and 3D background would really help. It will make things smooth for you. I'll say that. Make things smooth for you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much for answering that one. I think we have one last one for Enen before we call this a wrap. Hi, Enen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for coming back to you again. We have our last question. So, do I need to understand HTML, CSS for me to know how to do UI UX design? Because again, I'll be designing for developers. Do I need to understand HTML, CSS, or I could just, just go through?
Okay. Well, for that, it's good. It's a good idea to understand what programming is all about, so that even while you're designing, you should have the front-end developer at heart. So some UI UX designers, they design and forget that there's somebody that's going to program that, and the person will spend the whole of the days trying to do that. But you actually don't need to know HTML, CSS, and programming. You really don't need to have those skills before you become a UI UX designer. Like I said, becoming a UI UX designer is just having understanding and thinking, and then feeling what the user should feel. That's just it. So you really don't need to have those skills. But if you have those skills, it's also an advantage. It helps you. It helps you to understand a lot of things and understand how they function.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing light into that particular question. We are really, what's perfect for me to use. Excited and grateful for coming to share your word of experience with TMT learners and also even with me, because again, I gain a lot in regards to game development. Again, that's something and then we should regarding that. So to every fellow learner that is part of currently watching this video, if you are looking at starting a career in UI UX design, please do it, go back and listen to this whole video. If you're just joining in now, if you're looking to start a career in game development, please do it to go back and bring on this video and just watch through this whole series. And also, if you're still contemplating regarding maybe a career in DevOps, a career in cloud computing, a career in any of that parts, we are currently offering in TMT program. Please do it to watch previous videos. Just go to the channel. We see a lot of series we have done regarding as part of our onboarding for Core 2. So please do it to watch those videos and make a decision as we open it for you to be able to change course if you want to change course and update your profile. So thank you once again for joining us for this amazing session on what is game development and UI UX design. We hope you are able to learn a thing or two, and this will help in making a final decision on the career paths you are looking to build on as part of the TMT program. So thank you, Enen, once again for joining us and sharing a lot of experience. Thank you, Grace, for coming on board to share your experience.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone, and
All right,
see
bye.
you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.